Hello everybody. Sorry it's been a while. It really has been a very long time since I last spoke to you. My mum's in this vlog. Hello Mum. There's a reason for that. I'll get to that in a second. But yes, since I last did a vlog, I got my license, which is a huge thing for me because, as I said in my first vlog, that was one thing that I didn't have that I really wanted to, and that was absolutely my biggest fear. It caused the most anxiety for me than anything else. So to face that fear was a huge accomplishment for me, and it just proved to me that face your fears because it does pay off. Doesn't it, Mum?
Sure does, Sarah.
It does.
It does.
On to this vlog. So I decided this vlog would be, I wanted some input from a family member, so outside of someone that actually deals with an eating disorder, someone that deals with it on the outside rather than personally. It might just help others, I think, or other friends or family that know people with eating disorder or anxiety or whatever, with how to handle it, I guess. So I've just got a few questions for you, Mum.
Okie dokie then. Here we go. I haven't seen these. Should be interesting.
So what were the obvious signs to you that made you think I had an eating disorder at the very start?
Okay, so you were in year 11 at high school.
All girls school, that's a big one. All girls schools have that.
Okay. And you first of all asked me not to put chocolates in your lunchbox at lunch.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a bit weird because you liked all sorts of food, especially chocolate. And then it got worse and worse, and then you decided that you didn't want lunch at all because all of the friends at school weren't having lunch, weren't doing lunch. And of course there was the weight loss and the change of attitude.
Which mainly happened, I think, in year 12, didn't it? Year 11 was a subtle
There was
thing.
certainly things going on in year 11, towards the end of year 11.
Yeah.
And I jumped, I think confronted is not the right way. I asked you about it and you were in denial at that stage.
Yeah.
It took a little while for you to understand that I was serious.
Yeah.
And for you to understand that, maybe there was something wrong.
And the interesting thing about this is, and I've always said this, haven't I, that I don't really remember year 12 at all. And I don't remember ever asking you to stop putting chocolates in my lunch or stop giving me lunch. As far as I'm aware, until this point now, I thought I took lunch to school every single day.
No, you did not. And also, you would remember the questionnaire that I put on your bed.
I do. I've discussed the questionnaire, how I was in denial until Mum made me do a questionnaire, and then I realised
that I
answered
online.
all the questions that made you under the category of having an eating disorder. So yeah. But I don't remember year 12 at all that year. I remember other things earlier on, but I don't remember that.
Well, you were kind of out of it most of the time.
So it was,
your brain wasn't.
You just caught on to the alerts that were coming, I guess.
And the weight loss, which was just
going fast, and then you got me to a GP quite quickly.
Actually, it was a dietitian first. No, GP first, who didn't take it terribly seriously at that point. Yeah. Then the dietitian. Yeah. Who you said, well, yeah, great, but I won't be eating any of that she said. And then the psych. Yeah. Should have been the other way around, I think.
You're quite, I don't know, I guess you're very, I don't know what word it is, but like you're in denial and you're very like not willing to get help, I guess, at the start, aren't you?
Yeah, I think you thought that, yes, you did have an eating disorder, but that you would manage it, as I thought so too.
And I don't think I realised how serious it was. I just thought, an eating disorder.
And I knew it was serious, but I never thought that it would be a long-term thing with you because we jumped on it so early. Yeah. And because you were so...
I was such a foodie and enjoyed food.
You were a foodie and you also said you weren't in denial for a very long time. Yeah. So I thought because you said, yep, you're right, and you willingly went to the psych and you willingly went to the dietitian, I thought, this is going to be easy. Yeah. But wasn't.
And as I've said before, there's 2 eating disorders. So the first one I don't really remember much of. The second one...
Well, because the first one I think you really ate very little.
Yeah, and it was very
so your
secretive.
brain was, it was secretive.
This one was a bit like, yep, I have one.
It was secretive, but we all knew.
Yeah.
You thought it was a secret.
Yeah.
Not a good secret.
No. Anyway, second question, Mum. What's the hardest thing about living with a person suffering anxiety and an eating disorder?
The hardest thing.
Hardest things. It could be hardest things.
The hardest thing for me?
I
think frustration. Probably looking at you, beautiful, talented, intelligent, world at your feet, and the frustrating thing is that it doesn't matter what I say or what a doctor says or what anyone says, you let things slip away from you. You're not living your best life. And as a mother and me especially, because I try to fix everything for everybody, and I can't fix it. So it's incredibly frustrating to watch that.
Just letting the anxiety take over and the eating disorder take over time and time again.
Time and time again, rather than listening to voices of reason.
Yeah. And you know that because you know why that happens is because that is so strong that it's so hard to fight every single day. So then you just relax. It's like a constant, because it takes up so much energy to fight it every day that you do just have. You can only fight it for, like I'll go through a day where I'm really strong, won't I? Like I have really strong days.
Yeah, and then I get all the texts.
And then it just fades.
I feel good today, Mum.
Yeah.
I've got it today.
And you see all the improvements, and then I just can't keep fighting. So then, So then it wins.
That's
it still
the worst
wins.
part. It's constant
the
fight.
promise.
The promise, that's just the frustrations. That's very hard when you have a strong day for me to go, good on you, darling, that's fantastic. Because in my head I'm going, that's not going to last. When's it going to fade? Yeah. I shouldn't think that, but history suggests that it doesn't last for very long.
The past me. We're getting there.
Yes, we are.
Slowly but surely. Third question. What are the key things you have learnt about handling someone with anxiety and an eating disorder? Or one or the other, whatever.
The key things I've learned.
Like the best way to handle it, I guess.
Okay. Well, first thing that any parent needs to understand is that it's not your fault. That took me a long time. I thought it must have been something that I'd done as a parent. That was a key thing, and until you understand that, you can't even try to help the person struggling with an eating disorder. So I would say that's very important. The second thing is try. I've been there. I've got angry. I've shouted, screamed. I've cried.
You vomited in the toilet.
I vomited actually with stress because it upset me, and it's very hard to understand that you're not doing it on purpose. So you have to kind of think, well, this is not something that she can really control. So that's something I have to, or anyone has to kind of deal with and really come to grips with. And the third thing would be you just have to keep being there, regardless how many times you get kicked in the face or you try and you think you're getting somewhere and then nope, let's start again. It's just a constant battle. You live in hope that one day it's just not going to be there. But you just can't give up. So I think they're the three.
Yeah, and I think you learn along the way. Like when you have a newborn baby and you're the first parent, you realise what to do and what not to do. Yeah. And it's a constant learning, isn't it?
It is. But having said that, even although I know those things, that doesn't mean I'm perfect. I still make mistakes and I still get angry and shout at you and all of that sort of stuff. I think the only thing I've actually really got over is that it's not my fault. The other two I still struggle with.
And I think I know you know that it's not, that you've got to get out of your head that you can fix it, because after a certain amount of time you think, it's not something I can fix. They have to do it by themselves. Or when it's really bad, you know that you're not going to fix it. They need to go and get professional help, and it goes beyond just a family member being able to help someone. You just have to sort of support and best you can, and more like, I guess, are you okay? Is there anything I can do? Do you know? Rather than this is what you have to do. This is because obviously.
Every now and then you have to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you were at your lowest.
Yeah.
Like last year when you came back from London, there was no time for pussyfooting around. We had to spring into action, and we had to give you tough love.
Yeah.
Because the reality was you weren't actually going to make it otherwise.
Yeah.
So there was very strong measures.
But even then, it's not like the person can fix it. It's instilling in them, you need to do something. It's you, because it's your head that is making you make those actions. You know, like you can't come as an external person to fix it, can you?
No, cannot. You cannot do that.
And also comments. I think you learn along the way the right thing, the comments you can make and the comments you can't make.
Yes, that's difficult because, as I say to you, you can't stop people from saying to you, oh, Sarah, you're looking really well. There's a point at which you have to just learn to go, well, yeah, people are going to say that.
Yeah.
You can't actually, train everybody to say the right thing all the time.
I mean, just more like you, I guess.
Oh, me,
if you're like an immediate family member, things like talking about appearances or talking about how much food is on your plate, not really.
I don't do that, but
no, you don't. We just know people that do.
I'm not mentioning any names.
Anyway, last question, Mum. You're doing well.
Thank you.
Okay. What are some things that you think don't work? Oh, that's sort of. What don't? Actually, no. What doesn't work? What shouldn't you not? A no-no.
Oh, gosh. There's so many things that don't work. Telling you that you look terrible. I can't tell you you look good.
No.
I can't tell you you look terrible. I have done. That doesn't work. That goes in and out. I guess getting angry, that doesn't work because you just, you or the disease just fights back and it gives you something to actually fight against rather than what's going on inside your body. So actually, or in your head, should I say. What doesn't work? I suppose threats, if you don't do this, then this won't happen. It doesn't work.
No. And also I know the one of like, Ed walk, like, those sort of comments, which you don't really make.
That's not me, once again. We
Someone
won't mention
else
names.
does that.
Mm-hmm.
But that certainly doesn't work, does it?
Doesn't seem to.
It just is like a dagger in my heart. Or the person's heart, should I say, because we're talking
But in defence of that person thinks that, and we were told by a professional, that we should separate the behaviour, which is the eating disorder, from Sarah the person.
Yeah, which
so
is right.
When that person says, good morning, Ed, because you're doing something that's obviously not...
Ed-related.
Well, something that's not going to help your situation, that person feels that referring to Ed rather than you is making that separation. So the thought process is, I understand, and it's and the meaning is, and the intent is good, but sometimes it just doesn't come across that way to you.
Because I think someone going through it, they can't really work out what is them and what isn't, and then they just take it all personally. I think, even though I'm aware that...
I think we were told in the carers group that we did need to separate your behaviour, your eating disorder behaviours from you as a person.
Yeah. Because
you needed to find... we were told that somewhere behind that eating disorder is still the loved one that you knew. Because there does sometimes... Well, with you, there has been personality changes, especially when the weight gets very low.
And Ed, by the way, is a shortened eating disorder.
As opposed to Mr. Ed or... so I get that, and that's sometimes helpful as well. Yeah. It's just the way, I guess, that it's used.
And also a little, I think what also helped you in the initial stages is, which might help some of you out there, is the types of supporters around an eating disorder. There's a thing, and it's like animals, and it tells you the type of supporter you are.
Oh, yeah.
And there is like one that's the good one and the rest are not.
Yeah, there was I think it's a rhinoceros.
Rhinoceros.
I have to get my notes. You should have told me. I didn't know I was going to do this.
No,
I'd been more prepared.
It just came to me then. It's a CBT sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so a rhinoceros charges. That's people that just get angry at the situation. Then there's a few different ones, but I was definitely the kangaroo.
Yeah.
I think if you just picked it up, put it in my pouch and don't let anyone hurt you.
Yeah.
Also not the right thing to do. I'm supposed to be a dolphin who is there but guiding you in the right direction without actually smothering and, no charging, no smothering, just kind of swimming along with you, gently nudging you in the right direction. So I have to learn to be a dolphin.
But there's actually a whole range of...
There is, but that's the ones I remember.
But the dolphin is the one that you know.
Because I remember the kangaroo because I was a kangaroo.
Yeah. Well, you've done very well, Mum.
Thanks,
That's
Sarah.
the end. I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, I hope so too. And if there are any people out there who want to ask me some questions, parents...
Hit her up.
Hit me up.
Don't know how. You can ask me if you don't have her contact.
She'll pass them on to me.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.